Hi, everybody. This is Joanna. Thank you so much for tuning in. We're so excited. We have the initial stages of our new website. It's going to be a very simple and sleek WordPress for everybody to connect with us and our intuitive offerings, intuitive healing tarot sessions, global webinars, vibrational and sound healing, and for those that are excited to explore sacred light vibrations and the light vibrations that allow us to heal all that we are, transform all that we are, as we continue the exploration and the discovery that is so very exciting as the sacred divine child within this divine relationship of source creator, the mother and the father, harmonizing as one, and really pressing out who we are as a consciousness collective, the divine human ascending, planetary ascension, galactic and universal omnipresence. And what I wanted to discuss today, so we're going to put the links in as soon as we have it's a really simplified version of our old website. Those that have known our work over the past many 9-10 years, our website was quite in depth and quite expansive from all of the channelings and all of the work that I've done over 16 years. And I had an amazing website genius that put so much work and so much time and effort into organizing all of the data and all of the illustrations and all of the channelings and the 3 books that we've written. And I'm so excited to be a part of humanity's ascension. I'm continually processing new information in my remembrance and bringing it forward for the greater collective understandings and new awakenings and new discoveries. So she did an incredible amount of work, but we're simplifying it. We will have the illustrations for purchase through our store, and co-creating many webinars on 5th dimensional frequencies of light, which is what I'm going to be exploring and tapping into, along with the sacred sound and the mothers and the sisters, the great mother and sister collective that are with me. Thank you to the Holy Christ and the various light programs for ascension. And in that, what we wanted to talk about today will be a part of our breakthrough experience, because what I was feeling in my meditation was breaking the membrane of potentiality on the mental constructs. And we've talked about this before, and it's held within the divine relationship of who we are as source within the all thing, within the all. And last week I was offering in our channelings that I was going through a lot of brain recalibrations and things going on in my brain that I was being activated. And I find that in many of those recalibrations and the cellular reprogramming and upgrades that everyone moves through in ascension. Usually, as soon as the DNA is activated, the other systems of light within our bodies, our multidimensional systems, then get activated and upgraded, and our teams are constantly working on us. But usually with those brain activations, when the crown and all of those energies within the brain and the upgrades within those systems, I get these really tiny little bumps all over my head because of the sensory systems that are being triggered and activated, and I can feel them. Literally, I can feel them. And when my teams are working on me, if I'm asking for a certain activation or a cleansing or a clearing or clearing out, if you will, and even the upgrades, I can feel exactly where in the brain they're working on. And I get these little tiny bumps all over the head, and it's just a part of normal ascension. And then in a couple of days, once all of those intense activations, like your brain is growing, that's what it feels like. And then it's hard to get the words out because your brain is going through so much. And telepathy that we're merging and harmonizing with this 5D experience will be more and more of our experiential exploration of who we are and expressing ourselves. And so it's a complete reworking and rewiring of the system. But what had occurred in my meditation today, which I'm going to thread back to Master Jesus offering me last week in my confirmation, was that I was asking him about from my experiences all through ascension and how my sight is changing. And because I'm a visionary, I can see and feel things on various levels and feel them at various levels so that I can explain them and thread in the human experience through the psyche, the multidimensional bodies, and who we are becoming and who we're remembering ourselves to be as spirit. And so I was saying that, over the many years, the more that I awaken in my consciousness, it affects the eyes. And it's not necessarily the eyes that we see through. And in our normal textbook, it's written as the brain actually allows the eyes to see and perceive what is being shown in our reality. However, we all know through awakening that we're creating our realities through the consciousness that we hold. And the consciousness that we hold and we choose to experience, being the master of who you are, the commandment of who you are through all of their cellular multidimensional bodies, is through that heart process. It's that divine sacred heart, that divine sacred relationship of who you are as source, that oneness. And so I'm threading this back around to how the opening and the living from this heart space, the center of your being, is that portal of that divine sacred relationship. This is our reprogramming, in that the heart harmonizes up with the higher mind. And this is what I was feeling into. And the space within the body, if you will, I'm saying space, but that's not what it is, because it's an illusion. It is how we allow our lower mind and the higher mind to harmonize within the consciousness, is what I'm meaning as space. Consciousness and space, because our definition of space is consciousness. Our 3D definition of space is not what it is. I'm saying that the 5D experience of space is our consciousness. So that's the reworking of the terminology. When we feel into the who we are as space, as I'd offered last week about myself putting my consciousness in that leaf that was falling from the tree and just having a divine experience, that's the sacred child harmonizing with the mother and the father. So it's a similar experience, but I'm offering it within the body itself, to the mind, higher mind and the lower mind, within the space of who we are as consciousness. Not a location. The space of the consciousness that we can drop our consciousness within, feeling into the vessel of our allness, feeling into the multidimensional expansiveness, the vessel of light and love that we are. We are living light. All is living light. All of creation is living light. It's all consciousness. It's all source creator. The divine relationship and our awakening within our potentiality in whatever, anything, all things, whatever your excitement is, because it's always threaded with your excitement, your inspiration, your intuition, all of these experiences of our fifth dimensional exploration, from vastness to all that we can be, infinite potentiality for the human experience, is done through excitement. It's done through that sacred child. It's done through that oneness of who we are as the divine mother, divine father, that sacred excitement for us to live as that spirited human experience. So allowing ourselves to drop within the space of all that we are as source. And it might not make sense right now, but if you listen to it a couple times, it may make sense, because we're shifting into a 5D experience of who we are as consciousness, space. I'm saying space because our consciousness focuses matter to create the bodies that we see. It creates the physicality that we see. So how can we feel into this beautiful oneness of space that we are, have it be fluid, so that what we see in our reality becomes from the heart space out, because that's how we create our realities, from who we are as this being of spaceness with source, releasing the limitation of the mental body. So I'll give you an experience. This will make sense if we listen to it a couple of times, because I'm putting it into words as I'm feeling it and experiencing it and seeing it. So this is new. This week I experienced a mental potentiality of that fear zone where your ego psyche wants to pull you back as you're about to step into a new threshold of unknown infinite potentiality. The mental body is saying, whoa, 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 stop. The psyche pulls you back, the ego pulls you back because of all the wounds and the things that you're transcending. Dropping to that heart center and soul to say, I'm an infinite living being. I am one with source. I am the omnipresent. There is only love. And I can be neutral within it all. There's only love. And I want to explore in this way. That's that dropping to center, releasing what no longer serves, centering, then pressing out to where your excitement draws you. In that relationship of the all potentiality, the mental body surrenders. The mental body surrenders. The peripheral, because this is the ego, this is the soul and the spirit and the heart, your omni-consciousness, retraining the ego and the psyche to say, sit back, hold back, just have a rest and just watch the show. The ego must surrender and be an observer at this point. My soul is taking over, my heart is taking over. Let's press out and let's explore with source. I'm an omnipresent being. All that I am is within the all. It's this fluid movement of soup, of beautiful love and living light. The divine relationship of all that is living light. Our experience, our oneness, our movement and entanglement with this relationship. The relationship is how we allow ourselves to be awake and aware within it. That's the relationship. The relationship becomes, once you're aware of it, If you're aware that all is source, if you're aware that you are all source, and you're concentrating your focus to create the physical body that you are, you're one in the all. Your perception then becomes, I'm one in the all. I can start creating from this beautiful belly of love and beautiful belly of oneness. Through the sacred child, I'm creating through all of my excitement. I'm transposing my song through source, my soul song. I want to see beautiful crystalline temples of light. I want to see the children dancing and singing. I want to see miraculous healings. I want to see beautiful flowers that we've never seen before on earth. You begin to feel this transposing. Clearing the throat, thank you. They're saying transporting. You're transporting yourself into, okay, now what they're showing me is that the 2 feet in both worlds, the 3D world from where all those mental limitations were held, into your allness. And this is where, you know, all the again, as I'm speaking my truth and my throat keeps clearing, the chakras keep clearing. Thank you so much, divine sacred beings of light. Thank you so much. Thank you. The particles of all that I am and the beings that are I'm holding myself within are all helping me clear and cleanse and activate me as I'm stepping forward into these higher consciousness visions. The foot in both worlds, and you're in between. Meaning that you're allowing at every moment to be that Vesica Pisces, as we've shown you, the divine sacred heart, what was, what can be, where are you now, where do you want to be? You know, releasing those wounds and healing those wounds, and how can I stretch out and press out through the divine sacred child? That's becoming joy, bliss, ecstasy, all those things that we do as a soul. And it's this beautiful heart-centered flow movement, and you're allowing your heart to show you what you see. Your heart, your consciousness, your belly, all that you are in your oneness with source, that divine sacred relationship, just to surrender to source and just start moving. Surrender to the unknown, surrender to the new fields of play, surrender to whatever this new field of allness is, that you are there. There's an aspect of you that's there that's calling you forward. Remember that infinite of all is always allowing you to bring things up from the lower consciousness, to bring things up from the chakras, to whatever it is that needs to be healed. It's all you within the all saying that you're ready now. You're ready to call in that thread of excitement, because it's what we pulsate from within our bellies, our oneness with source, why we've been so imbalanced and co-creating out of mishap and error, not error, but out of fear, because that's where the vibration was. That's the vibration of our core, was held in that fear and control. So what I had experienced was very simultaneously, very instantly, is that just to surrender the mental body so that the infinite potentiality can just live in this fluid movement of who we are, source, the omnipresent, the oneness, the allness, through which all is seen. From here, the heart shows us what we see, because it's from the heart first that then activates, as I offered earlier, the higher mind, the lower mind, harmonizing and synthesizing to where the heart wants to take you, to where the heart wants to guide you, to where the heart wants to show you is one in the all. I'd like to see a beautiful unicorn today. I'd like to see a beautiful owl from multidimensional species that are coming into my awareness. Because remember, your heart is activating your awareness. Your heart is saying you're ready for something new, ready to see something you've never seen before. You're ready to create and receive that miracle you've put out into the all from your vibration of, yes, I know it's there. I remember the miracles of source. That's when your faith and your desire, faith is from the heart of knowing beyond what can be seen, beyond what can be proven. It is your oneness of the all. So what they're showing me is that before we got here, we all came with an encoding of utter divine remembrance, what we call faith. We'd like to shift it to say your divine knowing. That is the divine relationship that you are within the all. We call it faith, but it's your divine knowing of your remembrance. At every point of awakening, you're awakening that divine remembrance, deeper, richer, wider of who you are as source. And it will always come with you, and these beautiful particles of the greater excitement you hold, the greater awareness you're going to step into. And this is why, as you awaken, it won't necessarily be a process of mental intellectuality. It's not. It's from the heart. It's from the excitement of the divine sacred child in your relationship with all creation, that soup of allness that you become to see and become aware of in greater perspectives. And it's through the heart. It's through the heart that we see. It's through the heart that we feel. It's through the heart that we create our realities. And we've known this, you know, but I'm offering this through the experience of feeling it, because those activations that I had recently were allowing me to feel into the field, feel into the allness of what is with me. And I'm able to feel the consciousness of Gaia and the consciousness of the fairies and the Elohim. I'm able to feel this beautiful field that is beautiful energies of love and light and true happiness of who we are becoming and feeling into, that allows you to then see a vibration through which your heart is reminding you of. It's that divine remembrance. It's always held within us. It's always encoded with us. It never leaves us. That is source. It's always encoded with us. And the DNA gets activated, our multidimensional systems and bodies are cleared and cleansed, and we're remaining into that higher, thank you teams, that higher harmonization of balance and harmony and serenity and peace. We then start to open out and press out from here, because we're living as the soul. We're calling our soul and our higher self forward through us. The soul is all that we are. We are the light of our soul, meaning that we're allowing ourselves at every new stage to be that sacred, joyful child in play. As we become that play, we begin to see that play. It's that state of being vibration first, then that reality shapes itself around that vibration. And why it's so important to let go of, and you know, it's kind of a you know, a new age cliche now, you know, releasing what you think you see around you, because that's based on the mentality that was held through limitation. When we drop to our heart and we're honoring all that we are as the soup of source, we're allowing that omnipresent just to be that fluid movement of allness that our heart can allow us to see deeper, wider, richer fields of light that is the omnipresence. But it takes our letting go of that ego limitation to say that I'm just surrendering into spirit. Spirit will show me my allness. I am the light of my soul. If I allow my light to shine, my soul's going to come forward and show me in all ways. It will clear out my chakras. It will clear out those fields. It will clear out limitations. And so what I saw through my heart, this is where we're getting back to the eyes. We're getting back to the heart, because I dropped my consciousness down into my heart, and I saw my consciousness breathing into, with love. I was breathing love into the mental body to break through the limitation through which the mental body just surrendered and succumbed to the spirit. The spirit then saw itself releasing those fears that said, whoa, 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 you're ready to step into something new. You know, are you sure you want to do that? And as many times as I said, yes, 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 that was the mental body. But when I dropped into my heart to see myself be the release of the pattern, then I allowed my heart space to transcend, because that light transcends all. And you can place your consciousness within that light through your intention and through your loving of thyself body. I mean body by the mental body that was clearing the limitation, to know that I can do it. I came here to be this. I came here, I was born to do this. I was born to be me. So therefore, it's only up to me to believe that. You know, we've got the beautiful sun. Thank you, Holy Mother, Father. Thank you. Trying to get the sun right here. Hi. So it's allowing us to ever that movement and that fluid exploration of who we are as source, to become the all beingness, the all seingness, the all greater I of source creator, which is through the center of who we are. That's our core resonance. And to live in this joyful state of bliss, believing that miracles are all things, miracles are all moments. If we're allowing ourselves to completely surrender the mental body by being and pressing out love within that mental body, placing your consciousness, all of your consciousness within it, and then breathe love into it, pressing out all limitations, and then you just surrender into a new state of being and becoming. It's that infinity that takes you up into that new cycle, that new merry-go-round of vibrational experience. And however many times that needs to be done, because the mental body carries so many limitations. The mental body carries so many ego energies that will keep pulling you back, saying, well, you're stepping out new again, you're stepping out new again. However, each time you do that, the ego will relax that even more, because your ego is now being trained to succumb into love and be that co-creator within the new dynamic of mental material, physics, and omnipresent spirit love. It will trust it. It will trust the environment that you're pressing into, because the ego has been a tool in many ways to assist us in being safe upon our planet. Knowing when the fields of the bodies and the multidimensional fields and magnetic fields are presenting us with things we need to be aware of. And the ego is a part of that playing game, and it's a part of that manifesting game. But as we retrain it into the love of the environment that we are, because we are it is us, we're pressing into this breath of love, and we're allowing ourselves to see and create new realities from the breath of love, the divine relationship. Then the ego just relaxes and said, okay, I can play along with this game. I don't need to be in 24/7, commander mode of what's going to come next, and you're constantly looking over your shoulder. So this is a profound experience. And again, don't feel as if you've got to understand and make sense of it. If you go back and listen to it and drop yourself, call all your consciousness into this divine sacred center and just feel into the field of all that is source. As your bodies awaken, you'll become to feel into the fields that are the fairies, the pixies, and the gnomes, and the trees, and all that is Gaia. For those that are here to work with multidimensional fields, energy of the fields, energy of the grids and the crystalline, and the fairies. I have a lot of fairy activation going on right now because it's allowing me to be in tune with Gaia energy and co-create that with the collective, threading those songs and threads of light. Because when I tone and when I create that sacred sound, I can see in my mind's eye, but I'm feeling it now in my heart, in my center. I'm seeing from my center now. That third eye is a tool through which information is received. But I can feel it because I also hold the capabilities of that clear knowing. And so this is why I'm saying seeing from the heart, because it is. So what I was feeling when I was dancing with the fairies this week and I was playing with the vibrational fields is I was seeing the higher consciousness templates of energy, the fairies and the Elohim and Gaia, and various consciousness groups of nature, like moss and grass and sand and the roots of a tree and all that was Gaia consciousness, water consciousness. And they were all within this threaded song of source nature, of Gaia nature, because of my excitement to be with nature, to be with Gaia, to feel into those fields and play with them. Those songs and those resonances is that vibrational weaving and threading that we can awaken ourselves to and become one with, and allow ourselves to remember the playfulness, the joy, the accelerated oneness of loving intelligence back and forth that's needed and required. Along with the, thank you, the ancient ones are tuning in right now, and that there's many wisdoms and informations that are held within all that we are, activating the stories of who we are as we become more awake within the sacred site of all that we are as one with source. There's stories that will be downloaded and activated and coming from all that is source. And how is our relationship with all that is source? You know, it's not the entity in the sky separate and awake from us. It is within every cell. It's within the breath. It's within all things. There is no spaces that are untouched by source. Source is all. That's the divine relationship. The divine relationship is always there. This is what we went back to earlier about the awareness. Your awareness becomes one with it because you're actively engaging with the oneness of love. That's living light, and you become that living light. You become the light of the living. You become the rays of light that start moving everywhere because you are the one creating your awareness within it. Just as if my awareness was in that leaf that was falling from the trees, and I was creating that partial consciousness transportation, I assume, teleportation within that leaf consciousness experience. Because there was a part of me that was in there and I wanted to experience that play, just as if I was experiencing that song and that play and that dance with the fairies and the pixies and the ancient ones that are with us now, calling forward to say there's always constant songs and play and dances going on. Are we seeing ourselves within it? Are we allowing our consciousness to be one with that fluid movement of love and grace and consciousness? That is the consciousness of space. It's the all that is. It's our only way that we can allow ourselves, because the mind wants to dissect it, right? It's the only way that the mind wants itself to know itself outside of itself, but it's not, it's all. The itself is all. The self is the all. The self-actualization is the all. However, the lower mind wants to continually know itself outside of itself for definition of how it's moving about life, past, present, and future. Me with all things against all things. No, the self is the all. The more that you are aware that you are the all within the self of the all, source creator, it becomes a fluid song and you no longer have to worry about defining yourself. You're all. That's the ego letting go and saying, again, what we said in our post this morning, thank you, Mario, for posting that, is that you let go of old textbook definitions because you become the science of the all, the quantum physics of the all, the source. You become that reality because you're loving yourself and exploring yourself as the sacred child within it. You become that new sacred site. You become that new dance that's within that because you're so excited to explore what you already knew because you were within it. Again, that goes back to what we know as that faith. It's not faith, it's the divine knowing that you've always been there. When you're awakening and you're ready to be aware that you are in there, when the lower mind can say, let go, I can't understand that, that's far beyond what I know what's to be true, that's fine, let it go. Just place yourself within the leaf. You don't have to figure it out. It doesn't have to all make sense. Just be it, you're it. But that's the that's the mind warp that the lower mind gets into, because it can't figure it out. It doesn't have to. You are spirit. You are all. You are the all. It is the dance of all that is. You see yourself within the awareness of it, the remembrance that you are source. The faith is the knowingness. And at every point of awakening, you will awaken a new level of faith, because source and you will start dancing and co-creating miracles. And you're saying, yes, I remember this. I get this. That's what source has been. My teams have been reminding me for so long. Like, you remember that, like, there are so many whispers and songs and the bellowing of the universe telling me, you know this, you are an ancient sage, you are a master, and it takes that lower mind to let go of the mentality of limitation, that it does not have to be explained. It does not have to be proven. You do not have to prove yourself to anyone. You are the all. You know this. This is your divine remembrance, your relationship with all that is. It's you. And you'll have those epiphany moments like, holy crap, that's right. Yeah. Yeah. I don't have to figure it out. I just got to be it. Sometimes the lower mind just puts us in cycles of, it doesn't have to be as complicated as we've made it. It doesn't, it really doesn't. And the way that we've described textbook is valid and true for what was. But we're stepping into a whole paradigm of new physics, a whole paradigm of consciousness that is the beingness of all that is source. It's source. All that is. There is no spaces that source does not hold in place. Our understanding of what is known to be our universe's most unknown and mind-boggling experiences is a matter of our awareness that we are within it, and how can we feel into the love of it and press that love out into it so that we can feel ourselves within that dance. That's what it really is. There's nothing within the universe that we're not able to understand. It's our allowance of letting the lower mind go that feels it's got to negotiate the calculations, the mathematics of it. The mathematics will come as we place ourselves within it, because it's a completely different mathematic. The consciousness level through which we held physics is not at the same level through which the 5D is. 5D, we're placing ourselves within the consciousness of it. Otherwise, we wouldn't be aware of it, because consciousness is all. It's all source. There's nothing without source within it. How we allow that relationship to become, that's when it starts to, if you will, make sense. But then it's not making sense because you become the vibration of it. It doesn't have to make sense at the lower mind level. Making sense is that lower mind frequency. That's when it becomes the epiphany, because the epiphany is that 5D experience of, yes, I'm it, I'm being it. It's so exciting. I don't know if any of this made sense. So feel free to put your comments below. Stay tuned with our web pages that we're going to come up with 3 or 4 or 5 different intuitive offerings for sound and sacred sound experiences. We're so excited. Sacred Tarot. We're just excited to offer all that we are as divine Christic energies, tap into the akashic fields, help those who so desire out with any blocks that they're moving through. Any inspirations if you want to. I have many long-term clients that just come back to activate and further expand their vibrational fields, because when we entangle with one another, as I said in one of my posts last week, when we entangle with one another, we activate one another to new higher levels, because they were showing me in that experience. I'm not sure if it was clear in my written article, because sometimes I can explain things in a personal way that the written way can't, and vice versa. Sometimes the written way can explain it in ways that my vibrational sensing and feeling can't explain it. In that experience with a long-term client that I was talking with, at the same time that I was talking with her and and offering answers and musings from the councils and the beings and our higher selves and our guides, at that very same time, they were showing me various vibrational experiences where her and I were at that same point talking and communing. So our higher selves were showing us through my visionary experiences of what we were doing now and how we were activating the remembrance of ourselves on other levels to call in and garner those activations and those energies to press out in the now. And so that only occurs when we're entangling with one another, because we inspire one another's energy. To take that collective energy will allow that amplification of the individual energy, if you will. although we're all one. But we're saying that when those activations and occurrences occur, that's why the councils kept leading us back in that private session about the importance of creative expression. That creative expression allows us to share ourselves with the all that is source. When we are seeing ourselves as the individuated self, if you will, we are limiting ourselves in every way. It's when we entangle and we share that divine relationship of who we are as that creative sacred child that we activate into greater consciousness. And in that appointment, they were showing me these different variations of vibrational experiences where we were helping one another amplify and remember and activate and codes and all of these things going on in my fields. And my visionary was be able to show us back and forth this now moment, all different timelines, all different dimensions, all different nows, that we're able to activate those various creative knowings, the oneness with source of all that we are in all moments, and bring them down into this now moment and press out into greater creativity. Again, the all is that threading of now, pressing out consciousness evolution. And that's what it's all about. It's the play of creative evolution. And that creative expression is so important to the creative divine relationship, our relationship with one another, healing those relationships with one another, forgiving and compassion and pressing out in creative sacred play and sacred joy, which is what that next this beautiful, human phase is all about now. It's about play. Let's get playing. Let's start being the vibration of play and that sacred child that's in this new playground. That's how we evolve. That's how we press out and relax that mental body that thought, well, that mathematics don't match that. The mathematics just don't prove that. It doesn't matter. That's consciousness that's limiting you to what must be seen first to be believed. No, we are it. Then it will come forward through us. The mathematics will be there. And that's shifting it around, that being it becomes that physical sight of it. Not seen as believing. It is the knowing that is the seeing. That's the living from the heart. The heart sees. The heart is the consciousness. The heart is source creator within the all. It's so amazing. So amazing. I'm so excited. Thank you so much, dear lighted ones. Hope you have a wonderful, wonderful day, and allow yourself just to call in all of your consciousness, start living from this heart space, and start allowing yourself to know that your heart will allow you to see the knowingness of who you are, the remembrance of who you are, the infinite potentiality of who you are, and just allow your divine mental body in loving appreciation and gratitude just to release itself from all limitation and soak into the allness of this beautiful soul that you are becoming, this beautiful greater sight of the all-seeing eye that is source. That's what I think is meant by the all-seeing eye, is you become one with the divine mind. And that divine mind is benevolent. It's always loving. It's always greater good. It's always the one with the soul. It is always in oneness because it is all oneness. And anything that is not that is the lower mind trying to call you back into those ego notions of fear and limitation. And so that's why your soul truly can feel, this is the all-seeing mind. This is the all-seeing eye. It's all source. I'm one with it. I am inside of that leaf, and that's where you let go of those limitations because it's so much fun to play. It's so much fun to be infinite. Why limit yourself? Yes, there's going to be those fears, but remember, those fears are illusions because of those old realities that had those traumas. So that's when you're just succumbing to saying, I'm just tired to play that game anymore. I'm done. I just want to play. I want to be infinite again because I remember that. That's my divine sacred faith, that knowing that is being activated, that I am the all. I am the seeing eye of source. I can play like this. And that's from that heart center, that place of all seeing, all knowing, all being. I am love, I am love, I am one. So amazing. Yay! Time to play. Okay, dear ones. Bye. Have fun.